try this again. I found out that a few days ago that some of my videos are marked you can't view them. So I didn't know that, and I don't know why. I do know why, because I've told the truth, nothing but the truth, and it's really strange that they were able to get it done. But anyway, I want to tell about this. People are talking now about the upcoming, well, the candidates in the election. And I want to mention I had written about mind control back in 75 to April Fool's Day of 80 when I was almost killed. I had a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. U.S. District Attorney in Atlanta, William Harper, issued the letter to me. And then April Fool's Day, I was almost killed. And I'm going to fast forward real quick because I wanted to get to this. I wrote about mind control murders in the book. Larry McDonald, congressman, U.S. congressman, doctor, was one of the doctors in the book. And the deaths of Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were forensic pathologists at Piedmont Hospital, where he practiced, Dr. Larry McDonald. Okay, Larry Flint was shot, let me say that. He was shot in March the 6th of 78, and he was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I was doing the book in Marietta, and lived at Moonraker Apartments. And that was before the movie Moonraker and A License to Kill came out, by the way. But what I want to say was later when Larry McDonald, the plane he was on, went down, it was shot down by the Russians because it veered into their airspace. The air controller wasn't the air controller, it was the pilot, and he's a seasoned pilot, and there was a book written about that, just about that, how odd it was. Well, this is part of mind control I wrote about in the book and tried to get it published, and Larry Flint was shot. And that was one of them where there was a mind control murder where the person that shot him was programmed, just like Governor George Wallace and go ahead and say it, Martin Luther King, who are some of the, Kennedy, John Kennedy. And some of these can be proven. They were done in patterns deliberately because mind control is invisible. Now I wanted to get to this before I forget it. I found out that I was kidnapped after I was out at Mr. Flint's. He flew me out there to his home. It was in Bel Air. The plane carrying Larry McDonald was shot down August the 31st of 83. And Mr. Flint flew me out there twice in October and helped me during the campaign to replace Larry McDonald. And, of course, I didn't win the campaign. Former District Attorney of Cobb County, Buddy Darden, won it. And he was really, I think he's one of the few really decent, honest, as far as I knew, people in this mess. But anyway, I keep saying anyway, I don't have a prepared script, and I'm in poor health, I guess. I can't get around, walk very much anymore. But anyway, I keep saying, but anyway, bear with me. I was thinking about what's going on in the candidacy now, and I've told about guns, why the mind control murders in part were being done, like Hinckley and John Hinckley, and since then, they're trying to take the guns away. Most of these mass murders have been done through mind control, and it's the agencies doing it, but corporations can do it now. They can control your thought process without you knowing it, and you sure wouldn't give your consent. So you talk about violation of civil rights. And I'm going to name James Holmes because that's one where that man has been tortured. He didn't have mental illness. He was programmed. And to misdiagnose someone deliberately in his case, and some of these that did shootings, well, this man's killed. He turned around and shot himself. He was programmed to at Virginia Tech next door over here at Blacksburg in August the 16th of 07. So anyway, that was what part of it I was going to tell about that is to get your guns, and they can use it. That's what should be addressed when they're going after Iran and telling Iran that they've got to become a part of the world community and learn to live like they're the bad guys. Everybody's bad but the United States, and they don't like me for saying it. But they went over and stirred up the trouble, and even said the other day on Fox, one of the guys did that's supposed to be giving advice and all this, that the United States went over and they were trying to make regime change so that people could have freedom and all this, which is a bunch of bull. Look at what's happened to the UK. And I put up here who I am and what was done to me. I found out in late '83 my real name and who my dad and when history changed, and it's never been corrected. So that I don't get too far off on other subjects here and pull it together. The Hinckley, how many of these have been up there that it's a deliberate thing to take your guns away from you, the mass murders. Now, some of these, by the way, Aurora and all those can be proven. But what I wanted to get to here is you're talking about on TV about Ronald Reagan again. They're bringing him up. Well, I want to ask you something. Who remembers the Bloomingdale tapes? Now, I remembered them. This was me from the knowledge I had. I knew that one, well, let's just put it this way. I was writing about mind control murders. Later, Scott Meese, and I don't like Edwin Meese or any of that group, by the way. They were a bunch of thugs and crooks, and Schultz and all of them. And later, Kissinger. I hope the world gets to see what I'm talking about and it laid out. But anyway, everybody loved Reagan, Ronald Reagan. The Bloomingdale tapes, did anybody ever wonder why so many people got killed trying to delete and take out the Bloomingdale tapes so they couldn't be shown? Larry Flint, the last I heard, ended up with them, and I don't know what happened after then because he was put in prison, and Butner, can you believe, and tortured. Mr. Flint told a lot of truth. Whether you like pornography, I don't. But I do like freedom of speech, which I've never really had. They're shutting down my YouTube now. You can't view, I don't know how many of my videos that have gone up, and I don't know when they did it, started doing it. But anyway, I hope this one gets up for whatever good it does me. But that's what I want to take you back to, the IRAN-CONTRA with Oliver North, where they shredded all the documents, and FAWN Hall was in on it with him. Hey, maybe you better go back and see who's instigating all of this. I was kidnapped and brought to this country in '41 at age 2, and I put all this up in photos and everything, and a birth certificate of a twin that was dead. Both twins were dead. So it's not that anybody disbelieves it. They don't want to get involved in that case. They are involved, but the mere fact that I am here in this country telling you what's going on, I don't get paid for it. In fact, it's been the other way around. But you get your media sitting up there drawing all these big checks for telling you lies. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Go back and check out those are just two, the Bloomingdale tapes. And I was one of the first that ever mentioned the Bohemian Club. And now then there are a few people mentioning that. That's part of the people there are who I'm talking about, and the New World Order that's in place now. When they start telling Iran they got to shape up and they censor them, and that's why they do it, and they've done to the others to make them comply with becoming the one world government, the Illuminati, which is in place right now. And I'm hurrying because this video is going off. I just get 10 minutes. Hopefully it goes up. But they use cute little words like Iran's got to learn to be good and get along with the world community. Well, what they leave out is it's a new world order, the Illuminati. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedys, all of your presidents except Jimmy Carter were a part of it. The Freemasons is another. They're all the same. And I want to get this in real quick. So is Hillary Clinton. She's been photographed, the illegal Elizabeth II, photographed at the Illuminati, and they put up, you can't enter it. But there's been plenty of photos, so it's not just me saying it. But you better think about who you're going to elect